Hello and welcome to another episode of the Tejano Traveler. I'm your host Wally, and today we are on the Texas Tropical Trail down in the valley at Hidalgo, Texas, at the old Hidalgo Pumphouse. Now, this pump house was the pump house that pumped um, all the water from the Rio Grande into the neighboring crops. It was built in 1909 and really lasted a long time. It was used by the local population until about 1983 when it got finally replaced by an electric powered power plant up further up the river. But before that, this place used to pump all these gallons of water into all the crops that gave the valley its livelihood. So it's an important part of history. And here they have it restored instead of breaking it down. You can sort of walk around and see what the pumps used to look like, what all the machinery used to look like. I wish I had a bit more explanation on what things were, because sometimes it's just a big old room and it just tells you some history and it doesn't really explain, but it's still kind of cool to see all these pumps and all these tubes and everything still there and functioning. This place is kind of big and it's not many visitors, so if you go there, you're pretty much by yourself. But it is definitely worth a visit. I learned a lot. It was kind of cool seeing how early 1900s technology was used and pretty much lasted a good 70 years before they decided to change it. It used to run on steam and then on coal, and finally they just decided, hey, let's build something out of electricity. While I was there was a lot of wind, so everything was creaking and shaking. It was kind of scary, but at the same time, like if it's been standing for over 100 years, it's gonna stand for much longer. So eventually, I just calmed down and started looking at everything and enjoying the scenery. Look at all those pipes. Look at all that masonry. Look at those big old steam pipes, towers, thingies. I was trying to crawl in there, but I was afraid I wouldn't be able to get out. Plus, it looked creepy. But yeah, I'm not gonna do it. This place is also on. Oh, look at all those tools. They're scattered. Pick your own tools. Look at that huge ranch. And like I said, more towers, more coal deposit places where they were just shoveling coal to make sure the house was pumping. And if you go outside, the grounds are well kept and well maintained. It's part of the World Birding Center, so if you come here, you can see some blue jays, some red-winged blackbirds, among some other pretty cool things. What I found interesting is that they had this little pool here by the dam, which was like a local watering hole for the families that work here. I'm always a big fan of old communal places, so it was kind of cool seeing that. Now they have an amphitheater and watch movies. It's become a gathering place. I'm glad that they haven't abandoned it. And right across, you can see the Rio Grande River just there waiting, missing its old pumping partner. Plus, they have a nice little park that you can look at. So that's the old Hidalgo pump house. Definitely go and learn a little bit about irrigation and farming history, which isn't something you normally learn. And now, my favorite thing in the world is this killer bee. It is the world's largest killer bee, and it is next to the library at Hidalgo, Texas. And it celebrates an event that occurred in 1990. That was maybe 40 years in the making. Back in the 1950s, they were trying to come up with more docile honeybees, and they sort of messed up in Brazil, and some of them escaped, and they slowly made their way all the way up to the United States. And in 1990, they found a nest here in Hidalgo, Texas, confirming that the killer bees had finally arrived here in the United States, which was kind of awesome. They're not as bad as they say. and they do their thing. Just leave them alone, and they'll leave you alone. They just want to work. Yep. So that's the world's largest killer bee, and I'm a huge fan of world's largest things. So this completely blew my mind. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you've been learning some stuff, and don't forget to leave a comment. Bye bye.